Okay, I had a couple of questions that have come to me through a myriad of channels, but this is one of the things that I wanted to focus on just in this video is due process. All right, those timelines haven't changed. We are still having due process. It's not going to change. The standard of a free and appropriate public education has not changed. It is still there. It will remain the same, and it's one of those things that because it's a civil right, that's not going to be messed with, in my viewpoint, will not be messed with regards to these limited waivers. The only thing that's going to be different is potentially the analysis only for this limited emergency period. So the thing that I want to reiterate to parents that I've been asked many, many times and that I touched on, and I'm going to use the same example that I did in my Q&A that was an hour and a half long, so I'm going to condense it right here. Guys, if you were having problems prior to the shutdown in March, then it's likely your child wasn't receiving a free and appropriate public education then. So some of you somehow think, well, you know, the shutdown has made things, but no, guys, you're just at home now. You're just not around your divorced school system. And that's how you got to look at it. You got to look at it like a relationship, because it is sort of like that. It's like a relationship, a custody dispute, or a custody relationship to where you're both parenting equally and it's all great and you love each other. And there are co-parents that they do function like that. And so for a good functioning IEP meeting, that's what it is. You're co-parenting, you see. But there are times when you are, just like in a divorce situation, you hate each other. And that's why, you know, people like me exist. Is you're trying to sit there and work through what I would consider a custody dispute to where they get your kid part of the time and you get them the rest of the time. And you got to sit there and figure out how to make it work on this team where you both don't like each other. And if some of you think that, you know, let's say you're having marital problems with your IEP meeting as it is, what I had brought up in the Q&A, I said, this is sort of like, you know, those people that think, oh, if we just have a child, it will fix the relationship. No, guys, going into this emergency and maybe having good faith talks and stuff like that about what distant learning is, isn't going to fix the root issues during a traditional school year. It's just not going to do that. This isn't some magic pill. All it is distance. See, your kid's not there every day causing problems. Or your kid's not there everywhere to where they're causing problems for your child. I mean, it goes all ways, you see. But the distance is masking some of these problems, and they're just going to resume unless you fix the problem. So those parents that have asked me those questions, well, you know, but what are they going to do because my kid wasn't making progress in the first place, or we were having horrible issues before this shutdown. And I'm telling you, you still retain your full rights to utilize mediation, due process, state complaint. Those options are all still there. Forget this emergency situation. Those options are still there. And so the analysis that my firm is doing is going to be largely based upon, let's say you guys call us. We're going to be doing the analysis of whether your child received a free and appropriate public education charting from August until March. And then we'll look at this emergency period to see what the analysis would be for good faith efforts. But at the same time, the corrective action to fix your program would be treated in a traditional fashion, to where we need to get your program fixed and we need to sit there and determine how the IEP team can resume co-parenting in a positive way before you lose time and you're back in your crap storm starting in August. And that's what you want to avoid, because there's going to be some there's going to be rippling effects of all of this going into August. And so for some of you that are just sort of taking this wait and see approach, or, well, you know, everything's sort of calmed down, keep that stuff in mind. Okay? And, but I wanted to clarify that that this emergency period has not done anything with regards to your rights to pursue corrective action on behalf of your child if this school year or the prior school year, remember most states you have a 2-year statute of limitations. You can go back 2 years to have that analysis done on whether your child received a free and appropriate public education. I think North Carolina and Texas are 1 year. So keep that in mind. This emergency period didn't do anything about that. Unrelated that way and unrelated this way moving forward. It is just a blip, a small hiccup. Keep that in mind.